morning, folks. This morning shaving cream, icy mint scent, and just like the other one, that's what it looks like on the other side there. Thought that was pretty cool. I like that. The color of this one here is definitely green. It reminds me of a few other, see if it works like that, shaving creams that are green. There's one from Poland that's, I think it's pronounced Lidders, L-I-D-E-R-S, or L-I-D-E-R. Anyhow, comes in a red, a green and white tube. This green reminds me a lot of it. And there's one from Israel, and I couldn't begin to pronounce it. It starts with an M. Some of you probably have seen a few postings of it. I do have a tube, and I think I've done maybe a couple of shades with it, except for that tube's a pretty good sized tube. At any rate, it comes in that green color, if you will. And got the album block here, rubber band. I'll tell you what I was thinking about. I also got the mentholated witch hazel from Stirling. This is Black Ice. And I'm going to follow up. Decided to go with, Icy Mint. Might as well go with Chiseled Face Cryogen. And off-camera, be using Cremo beard oil. That's tea tree mint oil with a little bit of the shaven sailor beard oil mixed in with it. What I was thinking about, excuse me, is the I got it whipped up here in my smooth bottom bowl here. You can kind of tell it's got some green tint to it. And here we go. There's the shaving brush I'm using today. This is the first horsehair brush that I've ever bought. Still sticking around with me, still hanging in there. The scent you can pick up, I pick up the mint. This is not a knock against the shaving cream by any means, because my nose being what it is, being kind of messed up for a good week now. Sometimes what I'm picking up smell scent wise might be a little bit off. In this case it may be quite a bit off, but I don't know if it's psychological due to the color, but it reminds me of palm olive, the bath soap that comes in a green bar. For some reason that's what my nose is picking up. It's really odd. Not too sure what to think about that. It doesn't bother me, it's fine. I just thought it was kind of odd. Anyway, it's Sunday morning, right? I've already had part of my coffee. I'm going to finish up my large cup here pretty soon, right after this video. Matter of fact, blade of the day, Superior Platinum Astra. These are green white packs. I still have inside here, this is a Schick Krona. This is the 60s model with the metal knob down here. 70s will have the plastic knob, and if you're wondering, that is what's on the end of that knob right there. Some of them will have it rubbed off. It'll disappear depending on how it was treated over the years. This one here still has it intact. I have one that does not have that in there. You can see a little bit of the black on the one that's been pretty well rubbed off, but still shaves just fine. It looks just like this one, the exception of that part right there. And this one here, this Astra, is, I guess you might say, old stock. The new stock does not have the numbers, and I'll go ahead and take it out. It is not quote-unquote printed on each side of the blade like this one here. And the new ones just have it on the one side, and there's no more numbers on it. So I still have a few of the, I got the old stock and new stock as far as that goes. And the old stock had some, I guess you might say, wax dots on it. Just a single wrapper. There's a lot of conversation going on whether the new ones, if there's more than just the labeling that's different. I guess you might say it depends on the individual and what they're experiencing. So far I haven't had, I'm still working through the old stock, so I guess you might say I'm not experiencing anything different just yet, because I haven't started with the new. I already put a hot towel to the face this morning, and still got the Preshave Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Ice that's mentholated. In other words, it's unscented. And he also has one that's unscented and without menthol also. I just prefer the menthol. The menthol seems like it makes a world of difference on the prep of the shave, if you will. It adds, I feel like the menthol adds to the shave. I guess you might say if there's anything that I really do appreciate about Preshave soap is when it has menthol in it. To me, it really does add to the shave. To me, it makes a big difference, especially if you're depending on what you're used to, whether it's wintertime or summertime. I don't mind the cooling effect during the winter, but it's definitely appreciated in the summer. Had a lot of fun with these shaving creams, considering how inexpensive these creams are. I think it's definitely worth a try. And speaking of inexpensive, these Astra blades, depending on where you buy them at, what time of the year, you know, there's always those factors, but generally right around $10, $11 for a 100 pack. That's a pretty good price. These have been, excuse me, yes, you might say one of my go-to blades for a good long while. I didn't start out with them by any means, but later on I bought some and really do like them. How do they compare to the ones that are, I guess you might say, what, just stainless steel, the blue and white pack? I still have a blue and white pack. I don't remember if I shaved with it. It was a long time ago that I tried these green and white ones and never went back to the others because of how much I enjoyed these. I still smell the mint. I'm trying to figure out why I'm picking up, it seemed like the bath soap. Seems kind of odd. My nose is doing it to me this morning. It doesn't surprise me though, because yesterday was a pretty rough day on my nose. It kept on getting stopped up, got a lot of drainage. Been fighting it for a while. This is kind of typical for me for this time of the year to be struggling with the nose. This handle is a bit longer than, I guess you might say, your typical shaver. So if you're looking for something with a little bit longer handle, usually you can find these. They're fairly plentiful, and they come in different varieties in the way they look. Some may just say Schick on there, some may say Krona. This one here doesn't have a thing on it. They come in, like I say, different varieties, but overall it's still the same shaver. They just tweaked the looks of it a little bit. Now I had seen a picture a while back. So I don't know if it was a prototype or if they actually made an adjustable version of this. If they did make an adjustable version, it sure is a rare one. I mean, even a toggle you'll see for sale from time to time. I don't recall ever seeing an adjustable one of these for sale. At least not to the best of my memory. Chances are, if I did see it, I didn't know what I was looking at. It'd be back when I first started wet shaving. Depends on what kind of blade you use. To me, the way the blade feels on the skin, it's there, it's just noticeable. So a person might consider this a mild shaver, as it goes the way the blade feel on the skin is. In other words, there's not a whole lot of a blade feel, so if that is something that you don't appreciate, is that blade feel, like I say, it's just there, just enough to let you know that it's there. It's not an aggressive feel at all. And these shavers seem to always, the ones that I have, I think I have, what, total of 3, and maybe 4. I really like these shavers because when you get them overall, in other words, you don't have to be really concerned about plating loss on the doors. At least I haven't experienced it. The ones I get are usually in pretty decent shape. I mean, outside of that turn knob, you know, sometimes this one here, you know, having that, I guess you might say the end cap, if you will, is painted on there, might be missing it, or it might not be quite minty, if you will. And then the plastic one's got it in, it's molded in the knob, if I remember correctly. And I just prefer the metal knobs. I thought they look cool. But they always seem to be in pretty decent shape. And at a reasonable price on top of that. See, that worked out pretty, look at that. To me, I mean, I understand the need or the want to compare this to a much more expensive cream. But I'm thinking that this is pretty good cream for the price. Especially for somebody that's just trying to get their shave on. I mean, that's pretty close to how I typically whip things up. A little bit on the wet side. It's pretty easy to do with this cream. I would, once again, if you hadn't seen the other videos, I would start with a damp brush, not a dripping wet one. I would squeeze a lot of the water out and then work from there. Because it doesn't really like the water that much, which is not a bad thing. Can't say with this blade, it's pretty smooth going across my face. I guess you might say this definitely falls in that category for somebody that's not looking to spend a whole lot of money on their shave. Of course, everybody wants a good shave. This will definitely get you there. And you have different flavors. Now, I don't have any idea for sure whether there's more flavors than the 4 that's offered at an Italian barber. But definitely a great value. And I can almost imagine that if you go with a pre-shave oil, that your shave experience will probably be different than one without pre-shave oil. I can kind of see that might make a difference in this one here. I guess you might say my interest in pre-shave oil is starting to peak a little bit more. The more I look into it. Also kind of along the lines of Trevor's Face Slap. Want to make my own, in other words. Seemed like I should be able to do that. And of course when you make it, I'm assuming by the time I get done, I'll probably have a half a dozen bottles of it. In other words, a large quantity, because getting all those oils, sometimes you may not be able to get such a small container. Some of it might come in large ones. And I will have to say the cleanup with this shaving cream is pretty easy. There's a light film that might be left on your shaver, but it seems to come off pretty easy. Here pretty soon, and I'll try to work these, guess you might say, new to me soaps in the videos so that people can see them. I've got some soap that is new to me. Some of it I found by the way of Instagram. That has, or I guess you might say, of in other words, a 4 ounce, you know, there's not $15 or more, closer to 13 or 12 or somewhere there. And I've also been on my radar for a good long while now is Stubble Buster. I remember that's the name of it. It's been out there for a little while. I haven't seen a whole lot in the way of postings on it, but if you look at the combination of the soap and the aftershave, you can get both of them for under $20, and that's a pretty good value, especially if it meets, you know, how can you say, the minimum requirements. have not tried that one yet. It's on the radar. I guess you might say it sounds like to me what they're targeting is somebody that still wants the a nice shave, but they're wanting to keep it on a budget smaller than spending $30 or so on the whole set. Some of these aftershaves and whatnot, by the time you get done, soap, aftershave, EDT, so on and so forth, you're looking at a fair amount of money. And for some, they're just wanting an aftershave that goes with the soap, and it's not going to break the bank. I guess you might say the working man, if you will. I'll put a link to the website down below, because there's another one that I'm anxious to get. I don't have any of it just yet. It's called Shipwreck. Shipshape. Can't remember. I'll have to look it up again. Found it by the way of Instagram also. I think it's Shipshape. Yeah, that's what it is, Shipshape. A lot of fun shaving with this shaving cream. The idea of getting a shaving cream that provides a shave like this one here at such a low dollar amount makes the shave enjoyable, in my opinion, knowing that you're not spending a whole lot of money on your shave. And that shave can, you can do this on a daily basis and get a good shave every day. It's what most people want, I think, is that they're looking for a sociably acceptable shave that's not breaking the bank, that you can do on a daily basis. Once you figure out what shaver you like, the blades that work well with it, or blade if you will, what works best for you. Maybe you just need one shaver and a little bit of soap or cream to keep around just to get your daily shave on. For me, it's kind of felt like I started really late. I'm in my mid-50s and I didn't start wet shaving until, basically the April of 2015, so the previous years were not wet shaving, and kind of thinking that I missed out on a lot. I wanted to experience a lot, in other words, after I figured out what I was missing out on. And there's a lot of shavers out there, I think, that excuse me, that folks can experience good shaves with. So in other words, don't think that you're stuck with I guess you might say your Edwin Jagger or Merker or whatever the case might be. There's a number of shavers out there like this one here that you can buy that's in pretty good shape, last you a good long while, give you darn good shaves. This one here is a good shaver. I guess over time, a lot of times my focus has really been on the hardware. Not that I don't enjoy the software, but the way I kind of look at it, especially after you, you experience a Williams shave mug soap, and you learn how to lather with it, enjoy the shave you get with it. Williams here locally is still available for $1.29 a puck. $1.29. So if you are okay with $1.29 puck, you can start working towards, keeping your shave pretty inexpensive on a daily basis. Even if you were to go to a Gillette Fat Boy, in other words, and buy one that's minty, but that's just your initial cost. Your daily shaves after that for the next 50 years, in other words, will be minimal and enjoyable at that. Shaking up the witch hazel here. Looking to see if anything develops, because sometimes it takes a little while for, I guess you might say, a little redness might crop up or whatever. And it's kind of typical over here on the side sometimes, from time to time, for it to pop up or on my neck. It's not necessarily irritation. I don't really notice it, don't feel it by any means. It does turn red from time to time. I'm kind of anxious to try some of these new soaps to me though. You'll feel that cooling effect. It's so awesome. And then to follow up with something like this, it's just great topper for the aftershave, and then the witch hazel, and as goes for the cooling effect of the shaving cream, it might have been just a little noticeable. I really didn't notice it. Maybe just a little bit. I think for most folks, they probably wouldn't even notice it. They'd notice the scent as opposed to any kind of cooling effect from the shaving cream. Yeah, this is definitely an eye-opener. Might be something you might want to keep around for Monday morning shaves, huh? Darn good shave this morning. I'm really enjoying this shaving cream. Sure, I'm glad I decided to go ahead and get it. Like I said, I did say, see Joy shaving with it. Kind of turned me on to it. Decided if I could ever find it at a reasonable price, I'd get it. Then one day I noticed Italian Barber had it on sale for $2 a tube. I couldn't resist. Had to get some. Had a fantastic shave this morning. Tomorrow will be the last day of the month and last day of the DE shaves. And no, I did not get through all my DEs. But sure did have fun doing it. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.